recorded but not
And
available
then
to the website.
Go ahead and start it recording right
Right up there on the right podium.
now.
So the Mac,
So call to order.
call to order at 4:36.
Your video.
Thank you. So today is 9/11. 22 years ago, it was a horrendous attack against our government and the city of New York. And I don't know if you remember where you were
Other.
and what was going on for you. But I think it would be kind, generous of us to just take a moment and reflect on the effect it had on us and the sense of compassion that we've had for our world that particular day. Roll call.
I call the roll, alternate Cheryl Mills.
Here.
Member Terry Bernie Bissett.
Here.
Member Dorothy Tyson.
Here.
Member Nancy Connington.
Yeah.
Vice President and Member Jacob McElroy. Here. Is it McElroy or McElroy? McElroy. McElroy, okay. And then Chairman, Iris Reynolds, almost forgot, man.
Here. So there are no public comments.
Hey, Dorothy, bring your thing, those, spell your name right. No, your name tag. Yeah.
So if you would just read the minutes so we can call town resident for approval. You have it already. They're right behind your agenda. Behind the map. No? So. We just have the map in the agenda. Or they don't have the agenda.
There you go.
No, I'm sorry, they have the agenda, they don't have the minutes.
Oh, yeah. Here we go, right up there.
I wear my glasses, I can't see. WI. The wire. Okay. We thought it was WC. Oh, it's like. It's not. 3L. It was the first three letters, lowercase WIR, 3 lowercase L. WIR, like wire. Without the E. Oh, it's wireless. Get it. And the 3 is backwards.
And the thank you.
So would one of you check to see if the minutes are in line for 9/28? No, 9/14. 9/13.
Now it would be 8/14, correct, from last month,
Yes.
8/14.
The agenda really need y'all today, I'm a little goofy.
Must be the day. I am too.
Yeah. I get brain fog when it's.
The agenda's up and it said, the,
No minutes.
I don't,
I didn't see the minutes, I looked earlier.
What are those under the 3L355, what is that?
It's a lowercase.
It's the lowercase L,
Oh,
it's
It's not a
not.
one, it's an L.
Yeah, lowercase L.
I don't see the minutes on here.
Yeah, they're not.
Meeting.
I can tell you that they followed the agenda pretty closely, and I don't believe we had any motion.
Sorry for the link, like, the agenda read or. No, no.
So on 8/14, we discussed possible action on Wood Creek Arbor Day, including day venue vendors and guest speakers. That was number 2, and there was no motion filed. Number 3 was discussion of the CY tree survey, and there was no motion filed. Number 5,
Give that to Karen.
thank you. Was that this month?
Yeah, with this month. The reason,
Yeah, it was whatever it was, yeah. In one of those little things that comes in the mail.
River Valley News and News.
Yeah, some living, but. Yeah. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Motion.
Is there a second?
Well, second.
Terry seconded. And, so we need a roll call.
Okay, voting on the motion, let me see, Cheryl doesn't vote because she's an alternate now, we have a full house, right? Okay, Terry, how do you vote?
Yes.
Okay, Ms. Barrington, how do you vote?
Yeah.
Ms. Connington, how do you vote?
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. McElroy, how do you vote? Yes. Okay,
Yes.
Chair, all right, that's 5-0.
Okay. So, is there any report from the school board liaison?
Yeah, we can start.
So,
Who seconded the motion?
I did, Terry.
Okay, thank you, Terry.
you need a minute?
Yes, I did.
So I just want to say, before we start the agenda items, that I really appreciated the last few months. There have been so many contributions to the development of Arbor Day. It's been pretty magnificent to go to readings paper that I print out to just see all the ideas that you've generated. And I just want to congratulate you because I think it speaks to your involvement and your commitment to this project. That means a lot to us. So thank you all.
Report from the council liaison. Well, I've lost my notes. So anyway, here's the deal. No, there they are. Okay. We're first of all, we had some budget requests on behalf of this board. That budget request is now essentially been granted. It is part of our official budget. I think we asked for $1,500, for us to do our activities. So that is an official line item. We also have the amount necessary to continue to qualify as a True City USA entity. We have to spend $2 per capita, or we have budgeted $2 per capita for these type of activities, and we have that in the budget. We also have $15,000 for oak wilt remediation, and what form that will take, we're not sure, but that will hopefully help us address the oak wilt issues that are in our parks and in our right of ways. So I think those are the issues you guys were concerned about, and those issues were addressed by the council.
Wonderful,
What's that?
wonderful.
Yeah, okay. Any questions on that?
Was there any, specific detail about how we spend the 1,500?
Well, that's up to you.
I thought it was.
Well, yeah, it seems like we did.
I had notes in terms of what y'all would like for the tape measures and, that kind of stuff, for the, whatever materials you're gonna use at the Arbor Day, that kind of thing. I did have a specific list, but I just rolled it to the $1,500, but I'll have to defer to the committee on that. Yeah.
It was $750 for Arbor Day, $300 for Earth Day, $100 for case.
Supplies
Mhm.
for the survey supplies?
For case is what I have written down, $100.
The measuring tape.
Yeah, the measuring tapes were just a few dollars each.
So we're ahead of budget, man.
I bought my own.
Really?
I did.
Okay.
Okay, so
Thank
that's.
you.
That's the news on the budget. There's kind of a change, as you can tell by me sitting here. We're trying to, the staff has got 2 council meetings a month now, sometimes more. They also have 7 other board meetings plus ad hoc meetings. So that means they have upwards of 10 meetings at least a month, that we have going on here. We made a decision to cut back their presence at each of the board meetings just because they're getting spread so thin. It's hard for them to show up at every meeting and sit here with us for 2.5 hours. What I think the way it's going to work is we're going to keep our own minutes. I'm going to keep the minutes today and kind of establish a template. It's very simple. This is what we talked about. This person made a motion, that person seconded, here's the vote. And that's the basics that we need to cover. So we're going to be self-sufficient in terms of that. We'll prepare our own minutes and then we'll give them to Suzanne, and then she'll take it from there so that we are official. We do have minutes, but we'll prepare them ourselves. Kevin will be available to come in and answer some questions, but again, he's not going to sit in through this meeting or really any other meeting unless he needs to, because it's a tremendous amount of time just to be setting, right now. And we've got the road started, which is going to be a big deal. We got the bond thing going. We've got the parks, they're starting up. We're hiring some new city attorneys. We've got all these issues that we want them back there working instead of sitting here with us, and we can handle it, man. So that's going to be a change, and I'm working with the chairman or the chairperson to make sure we transition okay. And I think it'll be fine. We can take care of ourselves. So that's it. Any questions on that?
Mr. Coleman,
Okay.
we will be alternating the secretarial position. So our board liaison won't always be taking
Oh,
minutes.
this is the last time.
Unless we're in an emergency.
Well, that's true.
So, the template that he's created is wonderful. It's very simple. It's just the agenda, and you can add a line about what if we took any action or not, if it was discussion or just action. Very simple. If you looked at the minutes that you have in front of you, you'll see, how they're done. That was a good example.
Right, and what I'm doing is just preparing the basics, and then Suzanne will turn them into this. We just provide the information that she feeds them into their template from there, so.
Also like to say that I take notes, but I cannot be the secretary and the chairperson.
No,
And
let's
so,
It's too much.
so I will be taking notes for what I think I need to really focus on. So I would encourage you to do the same, especially details that refer or reference what you're going to be doing, especially housekeeping. Okay? Is that all you'd like to?
That's it. Any questions? Okay, I encourage y'all to kind of, I think you ought to have something to do it all the time, you know, that way they kind of get used to it. And, it's not that hard, man. I mean, what I've done, I've just taken the agenda, I cut and pasted it, and then I'm just making those notes under that, so that's it. All we need.
Great. So the secretary came in and basically gave us some instruction on how to record and how to do this. And, I'm just really curious,
You wanna hear from Kevin?
I don't know if we should bring him in, I mean, after being told the first time we did it, that, you know, he's trying not to spend his time here, that I think I can just bring it up as a discussion.
Okay, if you need him, let me know, I'll go get him.
And then if you can make that decision
Okay.
when that item comes up. Okay, so, the second item, the first item was approving the agenda. And the minutes. So the unfinished business that we have is Arbor Day celebration. And as I started telling you just a few minutes ago, we have been working on this for months. And we have fabulous ideas. And rather than splitting up into small committees, I'm not even really sure what those were, or going over everything line by line, I'd like to present this a little differently, if it's okay with you. There are some decisions that we need to make, surely, but I'm gonna try to read most of it out by sections. And then if you have a comment, please write it down. And then when I'm finished with the section, then we can bring it up. Okay? That understood, is that clear? And you'll also notice that I may be gabbling if more than two people, more than one person is talking at a time. It was really hard to understand everything that was going on. So I'm just going to get a little firm. Got it? All right. So I have been meeting with some of you, talking with most of you on the phone, and just trying to get your ideas and pull them together so that we can go through this more rapidly. I was amazed when I looked at what we've got. And so I'm going to start out with an important item that we have. Okay. Presenting the big picture, it's important to understand what this event is going to look like. This can be a little event, it could be a mid-sized event, it could be a big event, depending on the size that we have and the kind of energy that we have in our motivation. So there are a lot of things to consider. And Cheryl has come up with a map. I don't know if she brought hers with her. And you will say, I'm going to pass it around just so you can see. Unless you'd like to say something, well, we'll come back. This plan that she did actually has road closure signs on it. One of the ideas that arose was the possibility of closing off this street. And that is the street behind, it's that little curve on Brook Hollow. So it's not this Brook Hollow and it's not Wood Creek. It's right here. I can pass it around.
Iris, I did not send you the email that I intended this morning, but I did talk to those two people on that side and they're okay with the street being closed.
Yes,
Okay.
so,
I'm sorry, okay.
yes, I'll come back to all of this. That's fine, just keep going. Yeah, I hadn't forgotten that, I just hadn't. Okay, so closing that, okay, I'll attend to it now. Closing that street was an idea that Cheryl had. And in order to give us more space to travel and negotiate, to expand the park, and to also have a place for people to mill around, eat, go to a porta potty, whatever was needed in that space. And she also came up with another idea that I'll present later in the food category. And we can discuss it then. So this is just the original map. And I think then you came up with a potential map with spaces in it. Did you flush it out?
I did, it's still very rough. We still need to take measurements and see exactly how many tents or info tables we'd be able to fit in the spaces.
Then I'm gonna just pass this around. This is it's, what's the word? It's temporary. This is just a possibility, all right? This is, everything there can be changed. Everything has to go through us, all of us. So then the road closures would require the permission of 2 people that live on the street. And we would need to determine the time. And there were 2 different options for time. One was 10 to 2 or 3 to 7 in the afternoon. I know we've been planning for 10 to 2, but I want to be open to everybody's ideas about how to make this happen. As we decide. Then, and Terry was checked with the neighbors who said they're in agreement. And I just received this application for a special event permit that would be needed for closing down the street. This is something that we will have to decide if we want to do, whether closure, and we will have to fill it out and ask our board liaison to submit it to the council. My understanding. So other areas that have not been fully fleshed out is parking. Although we have considered the possibility of a need for handicap parking and golf carts if we can get them borrowed with transportation for a walk. We would need to rent tables, chairs, like picnic tables for people to sit and eat. There's a porta potty, and that has already been checked with Terry. And that will cost us about $160. It's $135 plus 25 for delivery. They'll deliver Friday afternoon and it's there till Monday morning.
How much was that for that?
So total would be 160.
125 and then a $35 delivery fee.
Oh, I got it turned around. Well, it's the same amount.
Total, yeah.
So it's 125 and 35.
So 160.
All right. And then, marketing was also under logistics. And we need a logo. And I believe Cheryl is gonna work on that. So, we still have time, we don't need it today. Then, in terms of banners, we'll need Archery City USA flag, City of Wood Creek, and something that says Arbor Day. We don't have anybody who's willing to manage that. Nancy came up with a nice invitation to do a flash email to all the citizens of Wood Creek in advance of Arbor Day. And I have it put away in a safe place. I spoke with Wimberley View today about, writing an article specifically on what to do if you have, a goal. And a focus I'm planning on presenting is how much the city of Oslo Wood Creek is willing to help with remediation that was just presented. Oh, in the budget. And 15,000 total. And there is a limit per household as well, I think, and it's in the tree ordinance. So, so the article that I'm gonna write is gonna go over what to do if you have it. And I'm going to go to the website for Texas A&M and come up with articles and have an interview with this person. And then that will be an introduction to Arbor Day that is happening. And on, hopefully, I left that at home, but the plan is that by the 1st of October, this article would go out. And then by October 15th, we can advertise something for Arbor Day. And I hope that you saw Wimberley View had a lovely wings over Wimberley. Hoping we could do a large ad like that. If we could get some sponsors perhaps, maybe. And that will donate some money. And that will go out the end of October, right before Arbor Day. And then Nancy's invitation as well. We'll also need a schedule of events poster. And maybe other posters that say things like, you know, parking, entrance. And then we'll also need transportation for people who cannot walk. So we will need somebody who will volunteer to do golf carts. Or just line up some golf carts, maybe 3, I don't know how many we'll need. And very importantly, on this map, there is an entrance that will be over here. And I guess it could go under here. There is a vendor who is donating a photo art card or card my yard. Samantha Armstrong. Armstrong?
Armstrong.
What is that? I don't understand, so.
It's a sign that, do you want to say that? Do you want to tell?
So she's Samantha Armstrong. She's a neighbor. She lives on the Champion Circle. She owns a company called Carve My Yard. Did any of you go to the Butterfly Festival at Finland? I can pull those out, but basically she does these large installments that you can fit in your grass. And they're just colorful signs that she can write Arbor Day celebration or whatever it is that we want. I'll pull up the photo so you can get a visual of it, but she did a really great job at the Butterfly Festival. And I reached out to her to see if she'd be interested in sponsoring a sign for Arbor Day, and she was on board, so.
So we'll also need some sort of sign that mentions all our sponsors. I don't know how we're gonna do that. Sponsor recognition. And then very importantly, we need somebody at the front, a greeter who says welcome. And I guess we will have to, we didn't decide anything about how to line this off so that people come in through the entrance. And so they can get their raffle tickets, the door prize ticket. So are there any comments? One at a time about.
A quick comment.
Oh, yes. The chair recognizes.
Yeah, let me just say this at your liaison. This is your debate, y'all do what you want to do, but recognize a couple things. We're gonna have a spectacular like 4 or 5 days before, which is a big event, man. So just kind of be careful about the scale of what you're looking at, because you got 53 days. to get it done. So, I mean, my thinking is you may want to back off a little bit and do something more like you did kind of for the Earth Day event, something a little simpler this time. And then maybe build toward your next event to be at the scale. But those are just my thoughts. I'm a little concerned about the street closure because that may require an officer to be here, monitor the street closure. I mean, that's what we normally do. You know, a lot of this is a lot of lead time. I mean, in terms of sponsorship and its proper sponsorship recognition, you know, and how you accomplish that. I mean, all that takes a lot of lead time as well. So I just don't want y'all to get over your head. But it's your call. I mean, y'all do what you want to do. If y'all can do it, fine. I'll go to the council with the street closure request. That shouldn't be a big deal. I'm just concerned about scale with the amount of time that you got left. Plus, you're coming right after another big event. So, you know, just keep that in mind. But it's your event and your committee.
And I will say that it was Kevin that I emailed it to about me talking to the two.
Oh, okay.
You know, I thought it was you.
Okay, so I'm not my president.
No.
Yeah.
Well, you are, but not because of that.
You're my neighbor, you know all this.
And so, okay, the chair recognizes Dorothy, I think would you
No. I'm just remembering that last year was Harbor Day, and, you know, we did a lot to get people in, and I think the draw was also the location. There was swimming, there was food, and, yeah, a lot of us spent a lot of time and effort to bring people in. And there, yeah, we had, yeah, the feed store there and some, yeah, master naturalists who were talking and master gardeners. And it seemed like the gravitation was only to the, yeah, the food and the tree planting was wonderful, Jacob. And I just wish everyone had gone there. So I guess I agree, with Brent that we should, yeah, not, I guess, diversify too much and have maybe some central areas instead of, you know, a lot. Maybe minimize a little bit what we're thinking of, focus on the tree planting, yeah, that you have a donation, because I think we're gonna be too scattered. We're a small committee, and I think it's better to do something well on a smaller scale than branch out too much.
Okay. Nancy?
Okay, I've done a lot of research on Arbor Day, and the one thing that caught my eye is, it's all about trees, okay? Arbor Day is all about trees, and to me, this is getting too big and too much, trying to pack a lot of stuff in a small space, and, just, you know, losing the emphasis on what we're there for, which is the trees.
Thank you. Any more comments?
I'll chime in if I can. I definitely agree, and I think following, I'm not sure how the date was chosen, how it was picked, if it was just based on Carl's availability, but doing it the weekend right after Spectacular and Halloween, families are going to be going from Friday night to Tuesday night. And so thinking of what is going to bring them back out, for an event for Arbor Day, that next Saturday.
Okay. Also, one thing about this 3 to 7, before I forget about that, we're going to be not in daylight saving time. So we're going to have an issue of lighting.
Daylight.
Yeah.
So, thank you for giving that reminder. I don't think about it, but it's happening.
Yeah.
I'll be right back one more time.
Yes, is that more formal?
Well, I just don't want to be stiff, and, you know, you're the boss who's trying to, you know, Is it okay?
Yes, please, yes, I recognize,
Thank you.
board liaison.
One thing-
Again,
One thing to remember is that gazebo is gonna be up, this will be the first event ever held at that gazebo, so that's pretty cool right there, you know? I mean, it's done a lot of our work for us to make it, you know, interesting and something you wanna go check out. So that's it.
thank you for saying that.
And
Because
Cheryl, Arbor Day is on November the 4th.
I couldn't find that.
I heard the dates in April, but.
Arbor Day
That's for. And Arbor Day is typically
So,
in
but then,
April.
excuse me, when one person's talking now. And who started this little conversation?
You have the floor.
I think Arbor Day is, in the date we chose is Arbor Day in Texas.
Oh,
That's why we selected it. Was there something else going on here? Okay, so I'm sorry to interrupt so abruptly. It's better than a gavel, I think. So I guess what I'm hearing in, Earth Day was not very successful. In fact, it was successful in that, the parks got a lot of volunteers who did a lot of work. And so there were a lot of people there because they were volunteering, and they had breakfast tacos for those people, but not to celebrate Earth Day necessarily. They were there because they had volunteered, and they did fantastic work. And they mingled a little bit in our area, but nothing really spectacular, nothing to really honor trees. There's more parks. And my thinking about the first Arbor Day, we did work really hard, and it was really big, and we had a huge space, and there were some amazing sponsors, and the city council had a big part of it, and we did it in conjunction with a National Night Out, I believe.
right.
So, okay, I'm looking at what was just happening recently, Wings Over Wimberley. And then on Earth Day, we competed with a pie contest here in Wimberley. And then Wings Over Wimberley, and then Spooktacular. The National Night Out is somewhere in there, I'm not sure when. And Veterans Day, we already had that. I mean, it's always going to be another event in this small community that we're going to compete with. And I don't want a tiny little table with a master gardener, and you know, although I heard very clearly what you said about trees. I'm all for it,
And also awareness.
and awareness, and that's families, right?
Yeah.
And so in order to bring in families, we have to have really nice food, and we have to have some excitement for families. Some entertainment, or
Why? Why do you have to have that?
because their parents are the ones who come. Their parents are the ones that are moving in to our community as us old folks are retiring and moving away. I bought my house because the person who owned it moved into a nursing home. And so that's what's happening to the demographics here in Wood Creek.
But we're still, 50% older people.
So tell me, give me a suggestion, Nancy, because I don't want to debate this. I just
Okay,
want
well, I'm not
ideas.
debating either, I'm just saying that we're sitting here now and there's what, 2, 4, 6 of us? That's a lot of work.
Well, yes,
I think Brent had a great idea. Yeah, we have water now that that people may not be aware of in the triangle. And a gazebo is such a nice gathering place. Yeah, it can be, come see, these are the trees we have on the triangle. Yeah, this is just a representation of what we have in Wood Creek. And we're adding to it with a gazebo and a place to enjoy the trees. Sit down, have a drink, bring your dog. And I I guess I go back to all the work we did last year and where the focus of people were. So that's why I thank you. The gazebo's huge for this the size of this community. And I think that would be a really nice focal point for banners or the yard, sign. And we made cookies. I mean, I'm not making 200. So, but, and I had a tree, a cookie tree. I mean, I could do that again if that would draw in people and the focus on trees. But I really, I agree with Nancy. We're a small group and it's better to do something well and focus on trees.
And here's the other thing is that, you know, people are gonna come and different.
Yes, Terry was trying.
No,
Sure.
I don't.
Okay, thank you.
People are gonna come if they wanna come, okay? Now, it sounds to me from being in the Wimberley unit, you're trying to draw people in from Wimberley. Where in my way of thinking, we're a community unto ourselves, Wood Creek is. And we should make it all about Wood Creek.
So I'm gonna make a suggestion that we, continue with this, the rest of this. And then we can come back and make decisions about how big we wanna be. I think I started that at the beginning. What time we want it to be, and some of the events that we want to occur, okay? And then come up with something. You didn't say a word. Do you want to say anything before I move on?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Daryl?
I'll be here listening. It just depends on who is coming to this event. So it's just, like you said, the focus, where did everybody go for Arbor Day last year? What drew everybody? What were they doing at Arbor Day? They were excited because there was food there. They stopped and chit chatted with the information tables. We went and did the petting zoo, we swam, played in the grass, kicked the ball around. Planted the tree, gave a tree away. We don't have a lot of that as an option because of where the location is this year. But I think, again, just following up Halloween, like you have to give people a reason to come out. So if it's not families you're looking for, like I'm in a lot of play date groups. I talk to a lot of moms. I instruct I'm a fitness instructor for moms. Like I've just picked brains to say, if there was an event following Halloween, like what would bring you out? Oh, not cooking dinner Saturday night, having your kids be able to do something? Okay, well, I'm noting that. So I just think, obviously, we're coming for the trees, and that is a big part. I think I suggested, like, you had a tree donated, like, that be an opening ceremony of the event, this tree planting dedication to the triangle. I think it's a really cool impact, or a cool, thing to leave behind, a legacy, as if you will, of the tree board to host an event at a location and be able to leave a tree behind, like make our mark there. From the last meeting, it didn't seem like tree planting was even happening, it wasn't a big deal, like nobody paid attention to it last year, so maybe we don't do that, but we have, like, that is what we're for. We're here to protect the trees, replace the trees, preserve the trees. And I think having a family fun environment that takes the load off families, I think is a reason for them to come. But I know we're limited in space and time, so I think being strategic with where we put our energy is very, we have to do that. But we do have time, so.
This is the last one, and then we're moving on.
Okay, no, we make white trees.
I took one home.
Yeah. So I think that, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It's something that you should focus on.
Okay, so the events, that was under logistics and site planning, and thank you all for all of that. Right? It's gonna be more successful if we're working with each other. So that's important. events. A tree planting ceremony, and,
Either one, Jake or Jacob.
Nobody wants to run away.
Jacob, okay, Jacob is, okay, got it. Jacob, was gonna talk to some of the vendors about, getting a desert style tree that could be planted there. Well, I mean, I'll come back. Carl Flocky with a lecture and a walk. There is electricity there.
Yes, and on email, I think I copied you. And she had, the last I heard, he was still available. I tried to confirm it, but I haven't heard back from the last meeting.
I believe, he's on, is it paternity leave when you have a kid?
Oh.
So we just had twins, so, he may not be able to respond yet. I don't know if they're boys or girls. or-
We're one of these future.
Could be.
So, way I had also been thinking about this is that when there's a ceremony to begin, and then Carl Bucky could give his lecture and people could walk or ride in a golf cart. If they're there, if they're available. And then while they're gone, there could be storytelling for children with Evie Martin reading the Giving Tree, also in the gazebo. And there will be door prizes for a giveaway raffle, and we have to give little coupons. And so those door prizes would if we get more trees donated, and if there was a vendor, I'll get into the vendors now. Vendors and possible sponsors. Now some of these can be eliminated, okay? Please don't freak out with the size. Because when I looked at the list and then I looked at the map, I went, oh, okay. Ace Hardware. I don't know if you do it.
I went there, gave information, but the person who made the decision was not there. So I left the information and I could go back and see what if anything else.
Okay, and I don't know, you were gonna ask about perhaps a t-shirt or.
Now, the t-shirt, I thought we were
Right.
waiting for the bronze, so
That's
I
right.
didn't even mention that.
Okay, so,
Well, it was whatever, if they wanted to set up something, or last time they
Or
did.
door prize.
Yeah.
a tool relating to gardening or that, I mean, you might make a suggestion. If we still want them in feed, Terry approached in feed and they gave need to ask if they want to.
They did not. And she didn't have the staff for it.
Okay. Face painting, Woodbury Gardens,
I sent them an email, it didn't really look like they wanted to do a donation, but Tree Folks was gonna look into their inventory and, possibly donate about 100 of them, seedlings.
Wow.
oh, thank you for checking. And those would be giveaways. And then, there was a suggestion that we would need a photographer, that was Cheryl, this is Jacob. And there
No.
There was,
Just with my phone.
there was also,
It's good enough.
there was a, offer of a child craft from Fit for Mom that Cheryl pursued, somebody who would do a craft with children, tree related. And you also were able to negotiate a door prize from Kimberly Valley Wines.
For a couple of beer and wine tastings to store prize.
And that would be also giveaways. And I could approach Walberts Unlimited about giving a donation, but I haven't done it yet, just waiting. And then Nancy was gonna talk to Apollo. And, then the Card My Yard by Samantha Armstrong. And then it occurred to me that if we wanted any food donations, that HEB might be somebody, the sponsor we could talk to. And I checked Arbor Day Foundation for the possibility of looking for saplings that we could also give away. There were 50 of them for $79. But if we can get them for free, more than fine. And, so those were the vendors and sponsors. And events. Any discussion? Yes.
I did get a couple of others that, offered, if we want them, we can have them. If we don't, we can slightly decline them. But, she doesn't live in Wood Creek, but Olivia, donated a 5-class pass of yoga just as a door prize. And we could package these up if we wanted to as well. And then, our Eagle Rock, neighbor donated, she does meal prep, so she donated a family meal for 4. She makes really good Indian food. Pair well with the wine tasting.
What's with this wine tasting?
It was just a donation. The winery offered to donate as a door prize.
Or is it door prize at their facility?
Sorry,
At their facility?
yes, they have beer and wine. And she offered to donate one of each.
Who was, and what was the name of that vendor?
The Wimberley Valley Winery. Her name's
No,
Valerie.
the Indian food.
Her name is Cassie Harris.
Okay. So any, discussion about vendors, the events section? Does it sound? Mr. Pulley, would you like to make a?
Yeah, I'm gonna say again, this is a great event, man. You really is, but you got 53 days and you got 6 people. I mean, it's a big lift
I know.
for all the stuff you guys got planned. I mean, you gotta scale this down. I mean, that's just my opinion. If y'all can pull it off, great, man. But I've done events like this and it takes, you know, months and months and months to get all this right. You know, so I mean, I'm a liaison, I don't vote. I'm just saying, you gotta scale this back, make it simple, so you guys can handle it in the 53 days you got left. Otherwise, you're gonna get over your head, man. You know, ordering T-shirts and, you know, all this kind of stuff, man. I mean,
That's not.
a lot of
on
these. No, that's the last time I'm gonna say it. I think you're a great event. I just don't know, with this manpower and this time you got, you're gonna pull that off.
Okay, so that's the second piece of information or suggestion already about this. The first one was about the logistics and site planning, and now this is about the event, the events and the vendors. And I'm feeling a little stumped, like how to keep going. I guess I'd like to hear, and then there are the info tables. And there's Master Gardeners, Master Naturalist, Native Plant Society, and then the Watershed District, or something like that.
Oh my God.
They were at the last event. A lot of these I pulled from the last event. So now, and then there's food. And, the 2 ideas that came up were the possibility of buying pizzas and cookies and apples and, or apple cider cookies and fruit. And the other was a food truck, barbecue food truck. Okay, so what I would really love to hear at this point is not what you love, but what you want to get rid of.
Can we all just chime in?
Yes, but one at a time.
Okay.
No food truck.
I mean, that's costly. You don't know what return will be on it.
What's in it for us? But there's a food truck.
They're selling from their food truck. They're taking the
Yeah.
money and
But distance,
it's taking up space. I'm thinking, and, you know, it doesn't really attract who we want to reach out to, you know, who's it there for?
So that's 3 out of 5 already, saying no food truck. And do you have an opinion?
Not too much of one, I mean. I don't think we should have a food truck.
There we go.
Okay, all right, so I'm gonna eliminate that. But actually, what I'd like to do is, keep some of this, because we wanted to do a fun run perhaps in the spring. And some of this work could go into that. All right, what else? Are the events, the tree plant ceremony, the Carl Flocky lecture and walk, storytelling for the children, and then door prizes as giveaways. Are those okay? Yes?
Storytelling would be at a certain time, or I know we have coloring set up for children. I know we did anything, but maybe storytelling would be more of a draw.
I thought we had that.
We have coloring set up on the table.
You know, I think if we advertised it, that it could have I just want something for the children. I want to pull them in. Families are the ones who are planting in their yards.
I like the craft idea because kids would like to take something home. So I think if we're putting energy somewhere, a simple, tree craft, come and make something to take home.
Okay, so I'm gonna eliminate the face painter. And, keep Fit for Mom? Or no? I mean, that's what I'm asking. We've got tree plant ceremony, Carl Flocky, I think those stay in. I personally would like to do the giving tree storytelling, just not the trees,
Right.
and the door prizes. All right, so, the Waverly Gardens was a no. The photographer, I guess we could take pictures with our own. Maybe we could assign somebody to do that in-house. Fit for Mom is a yes. And, all the door prizes would be good, I think. Like the,
And is there going to be a certain time where those are announced, or, you know, is
At
it
the end.
throughout the day, they're all gonna be done at the end? They're all gonna be done at the end. Oh, and do we have a time
Or
yet?
do you have-
Is it still 10 to 2, or is
we hadn't decided that. 10 to 2 or 3 to 7.
In November, is it dark by 6? Maybe 3 to 6, or?
I like it. I was planning, you know, early on, we say it was 10 to 2, and then it was brought up later. I prefer the earlier.
You too?
Okay.
And yet Carl agreed to that time,
Oh,
but, who knows
Okay.
if he'll be back. To do the presentation,
he agreed to what time?
the 10 to 2.
Yeah.
Because I had said that his presentation would be 11.
Okay, so, tree planting. Okay, so 10 to 2.
Do we need to make a motion?
No,
Okay.
no, and unless we need to do a road closure.
Doesn't sound like we are.
Let's talk about which sponsors and vendors we, I personally do want Master Gardeners, Master Naturalists, the Native Society, and somebody from the Water District. Or water harvesting.
Are you asked, what is it?
I'm just trying to figure out how we're gonna cut this down, because I'm hearing it's too big. All right, so what are we gonna cut down?
Do we need both master gardeners and master naturalists? Can we cut out master gardeners?
No.
No.
Why don't you talk about what you want in, you know, what do you want to do? As opposed to trying to get through the whole list and cut it out, you know, what do you want to focus on?
So. I do want master gardeners, I'm a master gardener,
Oh, okay.
and you are too. And Terry is. I'm a mess. So if we have sponsors, you know, we've been reaching out to people for donations. I think that's okay to keep. And we can continue to get the.
What is the door prize?
Pardon?
What is the door prize?
So far, we've got, lime and maybe some saplings. Well, I don't know if we have the bur oak. I may end up donating the tree.
Remember I said that I have some volunteer, wild laurels in my yard. They're beautiful, they're, they're evergreen. The only problem is that somebody needs to come and dig them up, put them in a pot.
So, yeah, and I offered to help. I said I couldn't do it.
Sure, you can't do it.
I had to do it.
What'd you say?
No, you can't, it's all rock out there. You can't think about, you know, it's not all rock, but the trees that are volunteers, that means they came from the tree that had dirt in it. All the way over to the other side of my yard and made a tree. And two of them.
So if you,
Let's dig them up.
can I help you? Make a great assistant.
Yeah.
I mean, you can come and look at them and see what you think, you know.
Text me your address.
So we need to move on, folks. So we scheduled a time.
You've got a 10 to 2, you're gonna have car flocking, you're gonna have a tree planting, you're gonna have door prizes, what else do y'all wanna have at this event?
You want storytelling for the children or no?
Yeah, but that can just be going on, it's not like we know. You
No,
know,
I just wrote it as an event.
Okay.
Do you wanna have Kevin show up and make hot dogs or something, or like he has done, or?
We
No, you
haven't
don't
talked,
want to do that.
we haven't talked about food
Okay.
yet.
I'm just saying, decide, you know, instead of trying to cut everything out, try to figure out what you wanna do at that event, kind of.
Want master gardeners. And I want master naturalist.
There's a master gardener and naturalist,
And the.
what else do y'all wanna do?
Does everybody agree with that?
And one of them, naturalists in the garden is gonna do it, they're gonna talk, or they just gonna have a
They
table?
bring information,
They're just gonna have a table.
yes, and they can focus on trees. And I was hoping the master gardeners would, if we can get a small tray of little perennials, then I was hoping that the kids could plant those with master gardeners. When, at the information table.
Yeah, when are you gonna find them?
Utensils and.
Well, the master gardeners usually provide that.
Okay.
And, I mean, I haven't checked yet. I'm waiting for
What
some
was it called?
tools and plants and pots and dirt.
Oh.
Yes.
Is that for them to take home or the plant?
Yeah, to take home and plant. So little perennials that are drought resistant and I realize they're focusing on trees, but I'd like to focus on becoming the desert.
Oh, I'm a perennial gardener, you know, but here's the deal that, you know, unless people have a place to keep those, warm and fuzzy over the winter, there's not gonna be any production that kids are gonna be able to say, I planted this and they're gonna sit there and watch it and nothing is gonna happen until spring.
So,
And hopefully keep it alive.
so I'm in a native plant society, you know, I don't, I like them too, but I'm probably more fond of the master naturalists if we had to touch on that. And I think it's good to have somebody who can talk about water personally. So, so I'm gonna suggest that those of you who have already gotten some sort of donation, think about thank you cards, or somebody who can write thank you cards for the board for all of that. But I don't want to reject anybody who has offered to do something. I think it's something that we can use, whether it's a wine giveaway or a tasting or a dog bowl, or a yoga pass. And I think you've all done a lot of work. And I just would also like to say that I did not vote about the space, and I was very excited about it. I was excited about doing the big one. I'm tired, not tired, that's the wrong word. I get a little discouraged when I come up with an idea and I'm told, no, that's too big. And I guess my question is, when do we get big?
Could we celebrate both Arbor Days, the November one and the April one, and do a bigger event in April?
But you gotta have space for it.
Well, we'd have a lot more time to decide the space if
We've
we
been
did
planning this
the
for
April.
months. I've been
Well,
gathering,
not to
you know,
not
realizing,
do this one, but include,
please, I don't think, I mean, perhaps later. But I
Yeah.
just don't know when. And I don't know that there is ever gonna be something that doesn't compete. Because Wood Creek is this inside of Woodbury. It's always gonna compete with something bigger and better. And so I don't know about you, but I was very disappointed with her thing. I just thought we did a lot for that and didn't get very far. It was nice for those who were there. I love sitting there for 3 hours where I'm eating cookies and talking with Terry and the other tables. But in terms of participation from the community, it wasn't there.
Yes, that's always the role of the dice. You never know, you know, once you have something that is pre-planned, like a luncheon or a dinner or some big fancy do, you never know who's gonna show up.
So, I don't know what we're doing now at this point. I think I do. I'm gonna ask about food. Okay.
Well, I was trying to, keep it simple. And, what I suggested, and Terry and I briefly talked about it, was just, getting pizza from Pizza Hut, having it delivered. And having it all pre-cut, having good pre-cutting, have somebody there, maybe myself too, when people come to the table to, you know, we can serve a piece of pizza on a napkin and let that be the food. Then I was thinking about, just having a cornucopia on the table, you know, 6-foot long table, tablecloth, with fresh fruit of the season, apples, pears, and what's the other
You
fruit?
said plums.
Plums, but I don't know what plums are.
Yeah.
I don't know that they're available. And then have nuts, pecans, walnuts. And I've got this cute little nut cracker, and the kids want to crack nuts, and it's okay with their parents to do that, and they can see what a pecan tastes like, because kids today don't know that stuff.
The pecans come from trees.
Mhm.
The pecans come from trees.
Yeah, that there's something inside the shell. I don't know, I mean, I don't have I don't have children anymore, but I've done plenty of these through the years to know that. And we live in a different world. We live in a world of technology now. And so kids learn, mostly they learn by sitting in front of a computer screen or on an iPad or a tablet or whatever. They need to have that hands-on, know about that. They don't know where that, apples come off the trees.
So, and I like the idea of the cornucopia.
I hope I can find one. I've got a big, dough ball.
So I stepped down a minute, where are we? Where are we? I stepped down, I'm sorry.
So that's my.
So you missed my opinion.
Okay,
Yeah, you gotta say it again for him.
And it's being recorded. So I just said that I really liked this idea because it was promoting the work that the tree board has done and the focus and mission of the trees. And Earth Day, I didn't think was very successful. It was mostly about parks, getting volunteers and doing work around the city, which was wonderful. And there was food there that that showed up. And that was one. And then I don't want a little thing. I want somebody, a bigger one that does appeal to people of all ages, not just grown-ups. And from my experience, that it's the senior citizens who really don't care about a book, unfortunately.
I don't think that's right.
Well-
Because I've talked to a lot of people on my street and.
I'm not going to debate, this is my opinion.
Okay.
And, so my concern, I mean, I'm willing to do something smaller. I want a grand something smaller, if it has to be smaller. And we can pare this down. I haven't really heard much about paring it down, but it seems that there's always going to be an event. Earth Day competed with the pie contest. And the honest to God truth is I love pie. I love pie. Then now it's, well, there's Spectacular just a week before. And this month it was Wings Over Wimberley. So there are all these big events, all these groups that want to do something. And I guess I'm just wondering, yes, I mean, it's a lot of work. And you know what? We've already done a lot of work. We've done a lot of work. And so, so anyway, I was just kind of disappointed,
here's how it's.
but I went along because there were 3 out of 5 votes that said no. And, well, you didn't say anything. So, but we had 3, we had so I'm just dealing with my disappointment.
Well, let me just say, as your liaison, it's up to your committee what they want to do.
Yes.
So, I don't know if you want to take a vote from your committee on just what is our scale going to be, like more minimal, or is it going to be more grand? I mean, just get a concept of that.
Minimal, is the sense I have.
Is that what the consensus is? We want to go with a smaller scale event? Let me speak up. We need to make progress here. Okay.
Yeah.
The only thing I've heard that was mixed was the food truck. What are you saying that?
And the road closure.
I'll tell you this, if you guys come to the council with road closure and food truck, I'm gonna vote no. Yeah, that's.
Well,
too
we've
much.
already voted down the
Okay.
food truck.
I mean, I'll tell them this is what they wanna do when it comes to vote, but
And the road closure was mainly so we could have foot traffic. And possibly, you know,
Yeah.
even if the tables are still on the triangle, that allows the foot traffic to get to the tables.
right, you're just creating a lot of, do we need a policeman,
See, I
barricades,
didn't
all that kind
realize
of
that
stuff.
this is the first thing I
That may
heard
be
about.
better for another event, but like I say, I'm trying to figure out what I'm gonna take to council and what I'm gonna vote for, you know, I just wanna wait.
How are we gonna deal with that? There would be cars going on both sides of the, I mean, I just think it makes it unsafe.
Yeah, I think the idea of the road closure not only allows us to have more space, but it also eliminates one side of vulnerability. Like it gives the people coming to the event a little bit of a safe space where there's not traffic not flying, but speeding. Everybody talks about speeding down the creek drive. It eliminates one side of traffic so that we can open up. We're not worried about kids running out while there's traffic going by. I mean, I can do the research. I mean, I did reach out to Kevin about the road closure, what we need to do. I haven't heard back, but I don't know. I need to research if we need a police officer on site for closing a road for. But I think it
So,
depends on our
think-
city. Right now, I don't think there's any established.
What I heard was that we want minimal, and I heard that again. And I think that includes no food truck, no street closure. And no, and that's okay. I mean, I'm just, this is our group. I just wanted to express my views as well. Cheryl and I did a lot of work as well, just trying to map this out. And we still need a map. Just on a smaller scale.
And so why don't we pursue the street closure and see if, what all it would entail
Right.
before we nix it.
If it's 10 to 2, I mean, that's doable. I mean, the first, thing I felt was like an 11-hour street closure, man, it's gonna be tough.
I don't know where that came from.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
I put those hours just as the time had not even been set or
Yeah, okay.
confirmed, but it's not for sure 11 hours.
We talked about 4 hours.
If you want a street closure 10 to 2, I'll take that. And, I don't know, I assume we need a council vote on it. I don't know what the process is. We've got an application for special event permit. We don't need that normally because we're, part of the government, but, I don't know what the street closure process entails. I just don't.
And you can tell them that I talked to the Seder Whites and the Marks.
They're okay.
And they're both okay
Okay.
with it.
That may be-
They said, would we still be able to get in or out? Because I was kind of picturing it as, like sawhorses or something in the middle of the road, just so
Yeah.
people knew they couldn't drive there. But, if they needed to get out of their driveway, they could. But,
Yeah,
But I think you're jumping ahead.
what do you mean?
I mean, I think we as a committee need to decide if we want the street closure. I get it.
We had already agreed on that.
That, what?
I thought we had already agreed on the street closure and that's why I pursued it.
I heard no.
When?
Well,
Just now?
well, let's poll everybody. I mean, who is in favor of the street closure and who's not? You're in favor? Okay,
I'm in favor.
all right, so it looks like we do have it. All right,
No, we don't. We have,
okay. Who wants a street closure? Raise your hand. Okay,
that's not what I heard a little while ago.
things have changed. All right, so we do have a street closure then, right?
All right, so we need to vote on that? Does somebody-
I don't know if we need to vote on that. Let's get a consensus. It's hard to tell who wants to do what. So street closure is a consensus of the committee.
What I was told just a little while ago by Suzanne was that if we want to do a street closure, we need to vote on it in here. Make a
Okay.
motion to the city council to have you take this application and submit it to the council.
Okay, then we'll need a motion.
I'll make a motion to,
Okay,
ask the city council if we can close, that side of Brook Hollow. To
Okay.
foot traffic and pavement.
okay.
From 10 to 2
From 10 to 2.
on Saturday, November 4th.
Okay, motion, who's gonna, okay, that's, you, Terry, and you're gonna second Dorothy. And kind of keep up with the guys, I talk with the donkey, so. Okay,
So if we have street closure, do we need
oh, no.
policemen? Do we need,
Well, that's what we gotta find out from the city council.
you have the application? Okay.
Okay, so you got a motion and a second, to request a street closure from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on that day. You ready to vote, or we need more discussion?
Do you want me to take back over?
I'm just gonna take a roll vote as secretary, if you want me to, do you want me to, or?
Yes, let's do a roll call.
Okay. All right, so Cheryl doesn't vote yet, Terry,
Yes, to street food.
Dorothy? Yes, Nancy?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's, in ours,
Yes.
5-0, all right.
Okay, so we'll need to fill this out. You're on the table for now. We're talking about, is the group okay with the events that we've already planned? Tree planting, Carl Flocky, door prizes and giveaway raffle.
Yes.
Okay, and then the vendors, possibly Ace Hardware, no tables. King Feed, no table of a borough, no face painter, no Wimberley Gardens, possibly Tree Folks, no photographer. Yes, Fit for Mom, do a childcraft tree-related exercise. Yes to Wimberley Valley Wines as a raffle ticket donation. No Walkers Unlimited. Apollo, yes. Olivia Yoga House as a raffle. I think if it's free, I think.
Well, I didn't need for Apollo to get a raffle.
Yes,
No,
there's, no, to put a donation thing,
a donation. Okay, just a dog, right.
yes, but you haven't discussed anything.
Now, actually, what I'm going to do is, because they're busy, it's just like an Ace Hardware, you can go and take a bunch of stuff. And, you may or may not get to talk to the right person, but the person that you talk to may not, communicate it to the person. I'm writing a letter. What I'm saying.
So it'd be nice if it said Arbor Day 2020.
I've got it all covered.
Okay, can you tell us what you?
No, because I didn't bring it with me.
All right. Thank you for pursuing, for,
Yeah, for moving forward.
yes. The photo art card, welcome to Arbor Day. The card yard, my yard. Thank you, Cheryl. And the Indian food from Cassie Harris is a raffle door prize.
Sounds great.
It does sound great. Okay, do you want to approach HEB as a donation for food?
I thought last year they weren't interested.
They don't do stuff like that.
So I have a,
Are you talking about
I
preparing?
think we say HGB for the fun run. So we got to.
That's a good idea.
What's that?
But if HEB would do something maybe for the fun, that I remember last year.
Yeah.
all right,
They're not
we
very
do
good.
have a donation sheet,
I'd
I
rather
just
go
can't
first.
find it right now.
Because they're much more forward to doing that kind of stuff.
There is a donation, community investment program application. They do donations, but you have to do this in advance.
I agree with Cheryl, I think it's good. Maybe not hit them twice, and maybe if there's a fun run. That would be good.
The dinner's,
All right, and then I'm not gonna approach Arbor Day if you can get saplings from Tree Grove. Arbor Day Foundation was gonna be 50 saplings for $79 for giveaways.
Okay, I mean, yeah. If we get about 100 from tree folks, I think that's
More probably.
All right, and information tables will be master gardeners, master naturalists, and the water scientist. So is that scaled down and then food? Yes.
Is the pizza at a certain time that it would be available? I know I hate to bring up last year all the time, but I know some people were upset that food wasn't immediately available at the beginning. Yes, that was, and I mean, it was a wonderful buffet last year, but I remember specifically several people, so I didn't know if that would be something that would be available the whole time. Cookies are something that, you know, they're
So we
there.
just put it out at 10 o'clock and let it, when it's gone, it's gone.
I guess,
So
and I think water would be good, just
Yeah.
canisters of water.
Yeah, well, we
Bottles.
talked about getting just a little bottle.
I guess we didn't. All the players.
Is the fountain gonna be installed by then?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I thought it would have been installed by now, I mean, but I don't know. It's ready,
What's that?
but I mean,
The
it
fountain.
was just a bottle of water, I mean, you know.
So I personally am not inclined to give away food, or especially pizza, expensive food. But I am in favor of a cornucopia with nuts and fruit to give away, and cookies and bottles of water. I think that would be a lovely fall sort of donation to a community. But I don't eat pizza. And
I make my own, so I don't eat pizza. I've never been to pizza, but yeah.
So can we agree on a scale down food offering of just
Fine with
fruit,
me.
nuts,
Cornucopia.
and water, bottles of water?
I don't know if there'd be any interest, but I do have like a tabletop, popcorn making machine.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, that'd be sweet. And but there's only one,
So you just buy the kernel.
Yeah.
Is it
electricity.
we only have,
There's
there's too
I
many
know
people
where it's
talking.
where yeah, 20 miles of, extension cords.
Oh my God, that's.
So do you like the idea of popcorn?
Popcorn is a great idea. I mean,
think so, too.
everybody, there's one over by the gazebo. So on the mapping, the popcorn machine could
Could go over there,
And who's gonna man that? Who's gonna run the popcorn?
because that's the problem. You know,
Is your husband available?
My 3-year-old will know.
gonna say, what do your people do it?
I did have a question, I don't know if now is the time, but there is power at the gazebo, absolutely, and then I did a walk around of the triangle, and I did notice, and I asked in the email, that there are 2 outlets in the corner of, the Brook Hollow corner. I don't,
I noticed one by the gazebo, or
there's
some
definitely
more.
one there, but there's 2 on the, when you're at that corner of Brook Hollow and
Really?
Brook Hollow, there's 2 actual outlets,
Okay,
and maybe, I don't know if that's where the
That's
Christmas
good.
lights are plugged in. That's why I was asking if we have full access to all
we
of
should
them.
have
but you
access to
said-
everything out
Okay,
there.
okay.
Good check.
So I'll take a charger over there and see if they work.
Okay.
Kevin is one who said there was only
He
one.
said there was only one, but I
But
I
Kevin
knocked out 3.
may not know, yeah, because he's only there since December, so, I know they have a big light display, so there's gotta be.
I think that's where it starts,
Check those, see if they work. man.
because there's not any on the other 2 corners, there's just
Yeah.
2 in that one little island.
We can always run splitters off of them, I guess, I mean,
yeah, but then what's that mean? Does that mean you have to cords?
yeah, you'll okay, of course. You gotta plug it in, man.
Yeah, no, but no, I was just being sure that I was.
Yeah,
Yeah,
So-
cords are,
It sounds,
yeah,
right,
if I may continue,
you know.
it sounds like we have scaled down, expanded one side of this park so that we have some room, maybe need tables and chairs for rental. Yes,
I will say, I have one 5-foot banquet table that I was gonna bring. Anywhere you
for
need
the
it.
cornucopia and the
Mhm. Yeah, we can use it for our food if you want, yes, and you said you had a tablecloth.
Yeah, it won't fit.
Okay.
Okay, so, we talked about places for people to sit, so we need a bid or some sort of, what is that, when you quote, a quote, thank you, for tables, for picnic tables for people to sit,
Hmm.
or chairs, because or chairs in the gazebo as well. Yeah, these chairs, but those are heavy.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
So if we're renting chairs, then we have to set them up, bring them over. And, that's, yeah, if we're thinking of 6 people here, I've already put in, everybody has to be signing in, storytellers set up, and then organizing. I know I helped Suzanne set up for, the birthday. And that's, we only have a few chairs for the people who are there all day. But if we're renting, and that's not inexpensive, I have a table too that I could bring. That's a table also.
Yes, Nancy?
Oh, what about if on the invitation, if we just put a postscript that I'll bring a chair?
Bring your own.
invitation. Other invitations.
Yeah, I did
Like
like
a
an
birthday
invitation
flyer.
from the last time.
Oh, I found it in here.
I can't reach that off, sorry.
Because
So I think we need to move on. And
Okay,
we've scaled it down.
are we each gonna, have a chance to talk about what we've done? Just curious.
So I kind of put, I'm sorry,
Well, I just wanted to let you know that I did contact Lana Weber. I am gonna meet them Friday to set up the porta potty. And then again on Monday for them to take it. I did ask them if they had a hand washing station, and they do, and that's another $125. If you want it.
And maybe just get a big bottle
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's,
thank you for checking.
yeah, that's my take on that, is just go, I'll meet them for the porta potty, and I think I've got it set up so they can get a check on it. And, tax certificates and all of that squared away. Oh, and yeah, but I'll work with the city on that. But I think that was the only thing that I needed to say. I've already forgotten, so.
I did look up, prices for if we wanted to explore the option of renting picnic tables, and the rental companies will come out and set it all up for you. They'll drop it and set it exactly where you want it. And they run about $60 a table, $65 a table.
Okay.
So I don't know if that's an option, but
But we're in such a limited space there. Where are we gonna put all this stuff?
We've got a street.
Maybe. Maybe.
So when I realized that we're gonna have a gazebo, I was excited. Then I realized there's no place to fit in a gazebo.
Oh, they don't have seats in there. I
I
can't
don't think so. And so it seemed to me that if we were inviting people to come listen to Carl Flocky, we really needed to offer them some kind of chair. Now, we could put an ad somewhere that says bring a picnic chair, which would go along with the idea of having picnic tables. If we were to get 2 picnic tables, maybe. Or, I mean, I don't know, but I think we can work on this next time. I'd like you to just,
Work on what next time? Do we have next time?
like the chairs and the picnic. We really need to move on. It's 6:10.
Okay, when's the next meeting?
Let me ask one thing though. I will take the council and I guess with my recommendation for this limited time for the road closure, but I need someone to figure out, how do we get the process to where it gets to me? I don't know if there's an application or what there is, so, if y'all can take care of that, then
I'll work on that, because
Okay,
I've been.
right. Be persistent, because they're really busy right now, so you may have to come up here and just say,
Happy knows me on a first name basis.
what's that?
Happy knows me on a first name basis.
Good,
So
good.
this is for the road closure?
Yeah, road closure is the issue.
Okay,
The rest of it, I don't think is.
okay,
I don't think we need a permit to do this because we're for the city, but the road closure, there's gonna need some process.
Okay.
I don't know what it is.
okay.
It's been done before. So,
So I say
I'll connect to the after, but I saved a couple of things and I was doing research on what is involved in closing a road. And
Okay.
I have a form that they can sign off that we can turn into the city that shows they've given us their signature that they want to close it. We'll have a site.
Right.
Oh, okay, so this isn't that. What is this? You just passing this along? I'm not sure.
There'll be something, I don't, yeah,
Well,
work with Cheryl and I'll get it.
so what is this for?
I don't know.
That is what we have to turn into the city council through the board liaison first recording.
I'm not sure if that's correct or not, but just confirm if that is, or if it's something else.
So
Is
I'll
that
check
a-
with them tomorrow. If
Yeah.
Okay.
That isn't, so we speak to that, that's an entire event, you know, you're gonna serve booze, you know, blah, 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 and you know, none of it's relevant.
Yeah, yeah.
But there's some process, I don't know what it is.
Thank you. All right, so, if everybody will continue to work on their donations and their, giveaways. In the meantime, and just firm that up, when you're gonna pick it up, be responsible for that, be responsible for the food, come up with a budget. And Cheryl, if you could finish the map out, you can call me and we can talk together again. No more than 2 people in a group, committee, so that we can, do the map.
The map that I started is just the layout of the park itself. So once vendors are confirmed, then we can plug them in.
Okay, so then I will start inviting master gardener, master naturalist, and the watershed people, and I think that's all we're inviting. Right? Okay. So it'll be 3 information tables. Oh, then there is the Fit for Mom table with the kids that really function every time, every morning. And, she could sit outside with the kids on a blanket, you know, so if it comes to that. So,
If it's not cold out or anything.
yes. All right, and so, I'm gonna, we'll follow up next time and make it be more real. I will pursue some kind of article for Kimberly View that is informative about the quilt. I'm checking in with you about that. And then we can talk about advertising later. Okay, and just firm up things.
One thing, we could have that sandwich board, I think the city has right out of the, as you come into Wood Creek. Announcing that this event is taking place, on that Saturday.
When you drive in,
I'm sorry?
the sign when you drive in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So you might share that with Cheryl when she's got the map,
Okay,
okay, so that you can point out what you're talking
yeah,
about.
because it's gonna be right at the entrance off 12.
Okay,
And then again, change out the spectacular sign right in Arbor Day.
Sure.
all right, so I'm gonna move on to item number 2. Excuse me. Article number 3 regarding the possible action. We have a tree survey and we now have a map. And I am going to put off the discussion about any of it. We're already in groups, but I will review all of that. Jacob is wanting to teach us how to use the software, the digital software. Can you do this?
Yes, yeah,
Schedule a training, schedule a training.
yeah. So, what it is a geographical information system. I tried to upload the previous tree survey to it, and there's just not enough information there. So I think doing it this way, it'll be online. You can access it through your browser on your smartphone. And, it'll be data that we can actually work with and possibly come up with a management plan, future planting sites for future Arbor Day events, and, If y'all are open to it, then I'll show y'all how to do it.
Question, and maybe not pertinent. I have trees, oak trees that are losing leaves just from, like my chickapin, my shin oak, because of the heat. So is this the best time still to do a tree survey when they've been so affected with the drought?
Good question. I mean, I would really like to wait for weather conditions improve, to see what we have left over. Because there's gonna be a lot of trees that die from all the stresses, the freezes, the drought, and then, yeah, lack of water. So we're also seeing like, oak wilts, stuff that looks like oak wilt, but it's actually stresses from drought, and they're very similar. So even identifying oak wilt's really hard right now. I'm putting a bunch of that work off till just weather conditions improve. So, yeah, I mean, we could postpone the tree survey until conditions improve.
So can you estimate?
Estimate what?
And maybe it would be a better time.
Springtime.
So we are actually mandated by our mission to do a tree survey annually.
Annually.
I'll have to look, is that in the ordinance? Where is that?
Where is the,
I looked at it today.
because the tree survey shouldn't need to be updated annually. It should be good for several years.
Okay, the tree board shall, these are duties and meetings. The tree board shall meet to consider advising the city council as it relates to the city of Wood Creek's policy and regulations regarding trees under the city's jurisdiction, shall create a tree inventory, including species and location of all trees located in public trees, right-of-ways, and other public land, shall be the responsibility of the tree board to study, investigate, provide counsel, develop and update annually and administer a written plan for care, preservation, pruning, planting, replanting, removal, or disposition of trees and shrubs in parks, right-of-way, green spaces, and other public areas per the green space ordinance. Such a plan will be presented annually to the city council, and upon their acceptance and approval shall constitute the official comprehensive city tree plan for the city. Any actions taken in accordance with this plan shall require the approval of city council.
What was the last one?
Any actions taken in accordance with this plan shall require the approval of city council. So we're supposed to make a recommended plan. So,
Can I interrupt just for a moment?
Yes.
If the conditions that we've been going through with the ice and with the drought mean that we need to push that back a little bit, I don't mind going to council and saying, hey, we have this obligation. We'd like to push that back to spring. I don't have to be in any trouble with that. Is that your recommendation?
I think so, yes, sir.
so it
I
sounds
agree.
like we need a motion and a vote. Is there more discussion?
I certainly make a motion, just looking at my yard.
Okay, let me catch
You
it.
have to
I'll
make a
second that.
motion to delay the tree survey until conditions would better present themselves as to the current health of the tree.
And I'll second that.
What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say Jacob made that motion.
Oh,
Is that
sure.
okay?
Oh, sure.
Yeah, you can on the record.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah.
I thought so too, man. He didn't-
Okay, yeah.
And then,
Okay, I'll get you with that. Jacob is the man.
And, Dorothy,
Dorothy,
second.
second. Yeah,
Survey to be postponed to the environment.
you ready to vote, Madam Chairman? Chairperson?
Yeah, so, let's call the vote. please.
Okay, Terry?
yes.
Okay, should I call you by your last name?
All of it, Bernie visit.
Right. Right. Member Tasian?
Yes.
Member Cottington?
Yes.
Member McElroy?
Yes.
Chairperson Ramos,
I, what does it read again?
let me see, we're gonna postpone the tree survey to November, sorry, spring of 2024 due to, past and current weather conditions.
I'd like to amend that
Okay,
to include that we will also be postponing the plan that is requested by the city council. And such a plan will be
what's
in
that?
section 330.14. So that to let them know that we will be postponing the plan until after the survey.
Okay,
Okay, makes sense? Okay, so can we vote again, please?
okay. All right, we have an amended motion or changed motion. That we're gonna postpone the tree survey until spring of 2024, and then the plan will, then be issued, thereafter. That's the motion. Okay, let's
Yes.
just say that was your motion, Jacob. Is that okay?
Fine by me.
Good. You seconded, right, Dora?
Oh.
Okay,
But I make the amendment.
okay. Well, it's gonna make it complicated for me, man, so. I gotta.
Say that. Say that. I just want to make sure it gets in there.
Yeah, I've got it, I believe, so, okay.
And so Jacob, do you want to also, postpone the survey, the training for the survey?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, we can postpone that to, make sure it stays fresh,
You mean keep reminding?
Well, I mean, so I don't teach you how to use the software now, and then you've got several months, so you don't have to
Right.
use it.
Well, I'm suggesting we postpone the survey, but also the training.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah.
So, all right,
Oh, well, we can focus on Arbor Day, man.
Yeah. Planting trees.
okay, is there any other suggestion that you might offer? I guess not, that's it, right? Planting trees.
Planting trees. No, I was gonna suggest, before road work starts, we trench, but it's a little late for that now.
Yeah, we're starting now.
I had to back out into trucks.
Oh, really?
On Stone Circle, yeah.
They're gonna start with you, huh?
Well,
They got more
cash.
today.
So let's-
Really?
Yeah, they were all lined up and worked all,
So let's see if we can. get
kind of
this.
dispersing to all those little side streets.
Cool.
What's next?
That's on this morning.
All right, so,
We need to vote,
order
let's go ahead and vote on
the amendment.
yeah, completed motion that Jacob made. That includes delaying the tree survey, the training associated with that survey, and then the issuance of the plan required by the tree ordinance, that will be issued after the survey. So that's the motion. You seconded, so we're ready to vote. Ms. Bernie Bissett,
Yes.
member Tassian?
Yes.
Member Cottington? Member McElroy?
Yes.
Chairman or Chairperson, Ramos?
Yes.
Okay, back to 5-0.
So just as a little reminder, Jake actually gave us a cheat sheet. And I think that when you're looking at the trees in your yard, I think, and so did Nancy, she sent us something about insect and seed problems in our area. These were given in a previous program here or meeting. And I would encourage you to look at those and that information. Now I've lost. It's shoot. There it is. You remember this? I sent it on August 14th. Yeah, really, do that one? So we can make a copy of this for you, Cheryl. Can you send this to Cheryl?
Yeah.
Great, she didn't even. We have it. All right, so the number last agenda item. We can move on. Okay, so number 4, discuss and take possible action on the establishment of city communication with the tree board regarding trimming, removal, and replacement of city trees. This is new business. Number 4. So, I read out today what some of the duties that we have as a city board, as a tree board. And because we're supposed, what I have found is some language in the tree ordinance that refers to the city of Wood Creek. It doesn't specify a specific person. It specifies city staff. And in looking through it, I found that the city staff that is mostly referenced is the city manager. And this is just discussion. Oak Wilt should be reported to the city manager. I don't know how that happens exactly. The city of Wood Creek is authorized to send a representative to explore that. We don't have a city arborist, so I don't know which representative is being sent out. The city permits all tree removal needs for tree removal and as separate from tree trimming. This is Articles 91.09, 91.08. All variances for city removal go through the city. The removal of heritage trees is 91.07. I'm going too fast for him. I'm going to give you this.
I'm gonna write it down.
Okay. An Oak Wilt containment budget, we found out today, is 15,000. And who manages it? And it said, and who decides who gets it? And all I could see was city council, and I understood that as a tree board, we were to hire a city arborist who would get this information, scan it, or review it, make decisions, so that we could make recommendations to the city council, and the city council would then refer to the city manager to do the work with city staff. I've understood that that's how it worked. Was that your understanding? And so at a meeting a couple of weeks ago, you asked about tree removal, and the city manager reported it had been done. But I didn't know that. Did anybody know that? You didn't know that. And so it is our duty to make a recommendation about a plan for what to do with city trees. And we're postponing it now. So all the responsibility, along with an annual Arbor Day event to be established annually, is, and those are in this tree book that you're going to get a copy of, Cheryl, and it's Article 30.14, the duties of a tree board. So I went a little deeper, and I thought, okay, the problem is that we don't have a city arborist. And I know that in this meeting, we have asked several times the city arborist, city manager, how the interviews were going or how the applications were going. And what we're hearing is nothing.
Well, he said one time that there was no application.
Right. Well, so I don't exactly know when the position was posted, but I do know that it expired June 30th of 2023. I went to the website and checked for job openings, and there were no openings. And so seems to me like the holdup is that we're not receiving any communication because we don't have a city arborist or somebody who can report to us about what's going on so that we can make recommendations to the city. And so in the meantime, my concern is that a lot of decisions are being made by the city manager without our input, which is our duty. So I would like to propose a motion that this be brought to the attention of the city council, that we need a city arborist, and if not the city arborist, that we need somebody hired temporarily who could respond to all of these articles that are falling on our very busy city manager. So I used stronger language when I wrote it up. But it seems that there also needs to be a path of communication between the tree board and the city council. Back and forth, and there is a diagram in our manual that describes that, but we're not doing it. So I'm proposing that we develop a system or method of communicating directly with the city council, I mean, through you, because it all goes through you, everything goes through you.
Right.
Are there any questions? That we need a concrete method or plan of communication between the city manager and the tree board regarding tree-related concerns, including tree removal, pruning, proposing, etc. Yes.
I think the starting point is that we need someone who knows, how to identify. We haven't had any takers on the arborist who was.
And you know why?
The
The pay. You're not gonna get a certified arborist for
But if
20 bucks.
if we could hire, if even a one time, I don't know how much Carl Flocky does without being paid in his position.
Or
But
they
if
can.
we start with someone to, again, start small scale in one area and see if we can then develop some communication, because it appears some people may be making a decision that's not an educated one regarding trees. So if we can somehow find someone, but I agree with Nancy for what.
So, thank you. So to address some of that, at the last board meeting, I made a suggestion that we start exploring hot zones, and that I could approach him, Carl Flocky, about doing a tour of city hot zones so that we could make some recommendations to the city regarding what needs to be trenched, or I don't know if that was the trenching we were talking about, but trenching or macro injections, or just clearing out what we need to do. And part of all of that is the article I was going to write for the newspaper about what to do if we're local. So it's, looking at it from different points. But so do we need to increase, maybe asking the board to also look at increasing the amount of money that's allowed for this position? Because otherwise we're not going to get it. And maybe there were no applications, but it's not listed. And so we can't do our job, is the bottom line. An informed job. So I don't know how to put all that in a proposal.
Yeah, I don't either. Okay, so it sounds like the key issue that we're hearing from you guys is that we need some kind of, we were anticipating a certified arborist was gonna get hired, that didn't happen. I mean, two things, one, not paying enough, and B, they're busy as hell, they don't need to work for us right now, what I can tell. But if you want me to carry to the council that, we want something, if not a certified tree arborist, we want someone that can do what? Go out and check the overall on the public areas and then report back to us, or what are we looking for?
So that's the only authority that we have, is the public areas.
Right.
The right of ways.
Correct, that's right. So I'm just asking you, crystallize this to where I know what to take to the council. I mean, I've heard a lot, but specifically do you want me to do? Recognize something else that this may be my next to last meeting, you know? So, put it on my back, man, while you got me. So, but what is it y'all are looking for, you know? And I'll take it to the council.
So another important piece of this, even if I can get information from Carl Flocky, and he, is well known, he said he was willing to do something like that. But then he said it had been done before. I asked Suzanne if she knew where it was. And that there were records of trenching and macro injection that were done in 2018. And she said she had no clue where it was and didn't have the time to look for it. So that was something that Carl had asked, that we could do a comparative or comparison.
Well, if you're saying we want to hire Carl Flocky to come out and inventory, the Oakville problem we may have in our public areas, I can carry that specifically to the council.
I don't know if he can be hired. He's a county extension agent.
Okay, him or somebody like that, I mean.
Yeah,
there
or
are
somebody
people-
like.
We hear what we used to, if that's the issue, if you guys want to know what's our problem in the public areas, then, then we hire somebody to go figure it out for us.
Yeah.
If that's the issue, that's what I'm trying to figure out, what are we trying to get to?
So, it's a three-pronged thing that I can figure out. One is that we don't have an arborist, that's one, we need somebody. Two, we need, a communication system set up where that particular person can do an assessment, but receive information from the city to report to this board so that he can make recommendations to us, so we can make recommendations to the city council.
You could have this guy report directly to you, I think the staff would be more than happy for you guys. If you have someone that's doing whatever you want to do, then reports directly to you, and then you tell those guys what we need to do. I think they'd be happy for you to take that on, if that's what you want to do. Now that we're having a tree survey, but I'm trying to figure out, what we're trying to accomplish here. Are we trying to get the scope of what the Oakville problem is in the public areas? Then we can figure out a process to
Is it?
decide
But
that.
that's not
I'm
just,
just, what I'm getting is frustration, but I want to know specifically, what do you want? And I'll try to figure out how to make that happen. Can y'all help me with that?
so I want an arborist who can help identify the problem with the trees so that
Problem with what trees? Public areas?
public
Okay.
trees,
What kind of problems?
Okay.
Any problem?
oak mulch, tree removal, dead trees, diseased trees,
Okay,
and tree pruning, all the permits
okay.
that go to Suzanne.
Well, anyway, the permits are for private property.
Yeah.
So you're talking public
But
property,
that's
right?
part of the arborist job as well, because some of those permits
Wait,
would
wait,
be on,
you're jumping ahead, we need to keep it, we need to identify in the public spaces by a certified arborist, what trees need,
attention,
The
Yeah.
tree health,
assessment,
the trees.
tree health assessment.
tree disease and illness diagnosis,
Okay,
and treatment, and recommendations for treatment.
okay.
So we need an arborist to do that. And then we need some line of communication that is more direct.
What I'm saying is, we're gonna have the arborist report directly to us.
Yes.
And then we come up
can
with,
send
this
it
is
to
what's
the
wrong, Jacob says, this is how you fix it, and then bam, there's our plan, right?
city. Yes,
Well, we get the recommendation from the arborist, and Jacob can,
Yeah, it can, he knows what's coming on.
yes,
So that's what I'm saying, if the problem is we need to know more about what's going on in the public space, and we're not getting it because we don't have an arborist, the recommendation is you want to go hire somebody on just a contract right now basis, and go figure it out, and then report to us, not to the council.
yes,
Okay. Is that what you're looking for?
yes.
yes, and then
We-
if necessary, then we can take it to the.
And we
Yeah.
have to take it to the.
Because let me tell you, if it goes to them with all this going on, it's gonna end up on someone's desk for a while. So bring it here. You guys look at it when you got an ace over here.
Right.
Then I'll go, okay, now we got the data. Now let's start working on a plan. And now you're doing what it says in that book, you know?
So David did say, though, it's hard to identify at this time.
Right, we should wait till conditions improve.
Okay, so you're saying hiring an arborist right now may not be productive because everything's kind of in dormant.
Well, that's already-
It's dry and stress.
Okay.
So, I mean,
But Oakwood
Yes.
is that,
well, it's hard to tell the difference between oak wilt and drought stress, because we're seeing browning and live oaks, and they're deciduous evergreens. So their secondary growth might come out this winter, but, it's not certain. So a lot of stuff looks like oak wilt, but it's not.
So whatever we do needs to happen by spring ideally, when we can do a tree survey. But, so the application for a city arborist needs to be amended with, in terms of salary, to make it more,
Okay,
appealing.
we're all over the map here. I mean, if you want me to change the application process, I can do that. I can recommend that, good luck. If you're looking at bringing somebody in on a temporary basis, but Jacob's saying, don't do that till the spring. You know, that may be something you don't want me to carry yet, because we hire a guy now, we may not get an accurate assessment or what, I mean.
Right, I mean, it won't be accurate, it'll be completely different in the spring.
I understand the frustration, what Jacob was telling us that we probably need to do this, but we don't need to do it now because we won't get an accurate assessment.
So I want it to be a priority. The oak wilt is spreading. I understand it's hard to identify right now, but complacency is just as wicked as oak wilt.
Well, so with conditions the way they are, oak wilt's not spreading near as fast. I mean, roots aren't growing, they're dying back actually, and we've had 70 consecutive days of over 100-degree temperatures. Oak wilt doesn't necessarily survive in anything over 95 degrees. So the spread of oak wilt's minimal right now. It's still spreading, but until we get more accurate, if we do this, we want accurate data, right? We want something we can work with on the long term. So doing it now, it
Okay,
wouldn't
so
be, I mean, it would be accurate
what would be a better time frame?
in the spring. I mean,
Okay, so,
until weather conditions improve and trees have a chance to recover from these stresses.
okay, so we need a motion to prioritize
Okay,
to prioritize the city arborist.
okay, who's making the motion? Was it
I'm
you,
making a
Jacob?
motion.
Who is?
I am.
Okay,
I want to make a motion that the city council search for a qualified city arborist to do an assessment of the trees by spring or in spring and report directly to the tree board so that we can complete the duties that we were mandated.
okay.
That make sense?
I'm gonna read that back to you as soon as I get it. Okay, so you're moving that the city hire a certified arborist,
Aaron, what
to hire a certified arborist so that they can conduct a survey of public areas in the spring.
A survey of trees in the public right of way, heritage and disease trees.
Okay, we're gonna do all trees, right, in public
All
areas?
trees.
Okay. I'm gonna take, let me write this and make sure I'm getting it right.
Aaron, sorry, county extension. Croftsall is
Aaron
forestry division.
Okay, motion by Iris Reynolds, did the city get priority for the retention of a certified arborist so that they can conduct a tree survey of all trees in the public areas in spring of 2024 and report directly to the tree board?
They're gonna do it more soon.
Not the tree survey, they're doing an assessment of disease from tree
Tree assessment.
Oh,
and with recommendations for treatment. What do we do in the meantime?
Man, what Jacob's saying is, Oakville's not moving that fast right now. It's hard to tell what's got what. And, you know, you just gotta, there's not much you can do. You just run around with your head chopped off right now, you know? It feels good,
All right, can you read it again,
but, okay.
please?
Okay, motion by Iris Reynolds for the city council to give priority to the retention of a certified arborist so that, the arborist can conduct a tree assessment of all trees in public areas in the spring of 2024 and then report directly to the tree board with recommendations.
And treatment plan,
I don't, treatment plan, okay,
that's what our nurse was supposed to do,
okay.
provide us with a treatment plan.
All right, motion by Iris Ramos for the city to give priority to the retention of a certified arborist so that they can conduct a tree assessment of all trees in public areas in the spring of 2024 and then report directly to the tree board with recommendations, including a treatment plan.
Does that need to say Oakwood?
No, because I.
It could be.
It's general.
Yeah,
Okay, any further discussion on that? Do we hear a second?
you did, all right. Mr. Casey. Ready to vote?
Yes.
Okay, I'll take the roll. Ms. Bernie Bissett,
yes.
Ms. Station, Ms. Pennington, Mr. McElroy,
Yes.
Ms. Ramos,
Yes.
motion passes 5-0. Good motion, Myron.
Thank you. For assisting with me.
You persisted.
Is that it?
Yes,
Are we gonna adjourn?
so next meeting is October the 9th. Thank you for bringing your laptops and your personal copy of the agenda, another document is needed. And I will be notifying you, I have nothing on the agenda right now. Oh. Oh, the dates. Yeah. Right, meeting adjourned at 6:40. Thank you all, made things and they do.
Okay.
Thank you for staying so late. Thank you for all your work. Work. Oh, see your garden. Really, so it's that's so clever.
Okay. See y'all next time.
Bye. Call me if you need anything.
I didn't see my dead yard.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, so right, fine.
No, no.
Yeah.
So.